Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just jump right in and validate that super weird, slightly unsettling feeling you've probably been getting while scrolling lately. If you've been noticing that the internet is getting weirder, a little more distorted, and honestly just genuinely harder to trust, well, I am here to affirm that you absolutely aren't crazy for noticing. Our digital spaces are fundamentally changing, and today we're going to map out exactly why our internet feels so fake now.
I really want to ask you directly, have you felt this vague sense of paranoia online recently? Like you're listening to a jazz playlist on Spotify and suddenly you stop and wonder, wait, is this artist even real? Or maybe you're reading a comment thread and you catch yourself asking, did an actual human being write this, or am I just reading a machine? You are definitely not alone in this. The web right now feels fake, real, dead, and alive, all at the exact same time.
Section 1. The paranoia of fakeness.
Okay, so to really understand this disorientation, we actually have to look back to a concept called the inversion. Tech writer Max Reed coined this term back in 2018. It described this inevitable tipping point where synthetic, machine-made content would actually surpass content made by genuine human beings. What's so fascinating here is that back then, people were mostly just worried about quaint little sock puppet accounts on social media. But today, thanks to the generative AI boom, that era looks incredibly innocent. We have fully crossed that threshold, and synthetic generation completely dominates the web.
Section 2. The synthetic content boom.
To see the actual mechanics driving this fake feeling today, we've got to talk about slop. And honestly, slop is just the perfect word for this era. It refers to synthetic, machine-generated content that's created with a fundamental contempt for you, the audience. It's designed solely to hijack your attention for a quick buck. We're talking about massive click arbitrage scams run out of overseas server farms or completely fake AI political campaign ads. The source material points out these bizarre Batman-themed local campaign videos as a prime example. It's low-effort, volume-based garbage that actively disrespects your time.
Just look at how deeply this synthetic flood has infected literally every corner of culture. We've got entirely fake, AI-generated instrumental jazz and classical playlists completely dominating Spotify, featuring fake artist profiles with zero human footprint. And it gets worse. When the beloved indie rock band King Gizzard pulled their music off a platform, AI domain squatters immediately swooped in. They generated slop music that sounded just like the band to steal their streaming revenue. We're even seeing viral marketing firms spin up thousands of bots just to artificially seed a song into the TikTok algorithm. The scale of this is absolutely staggering. And this whole thing brilliantly illustrates a major core shift. The creators of this content, they aren't even trying to talk to you anymore. They're just spamming the internet with hundreds of variations of the exact same video or song in a matter of minutes, completely bypassing human taste, strictly to see what the algorithm is going to prioritize. You aren't the audience anymore. The algorithm is.
Section 3. The Spectator Internet Theory.
This brings us to a really fascinating new framework that explains our exact role in this strange new ecosystem. You might have heard of the old dead internet theory, right? That was the idea that humanity was entirely absent and the web was just completely run by bots. But online researcher Aidan Walker has proposed a much more accurate concept, detailed in our source material, which we'll call the spectator internet theory. This theory points out that the internet isn't dead at all. Actually, it's highly active, but humanity has just been completely sidelined.
Let's break down exactly how this works. Step 1. AI machines generate an endless mountain of synthetic slop. Step 2. Algorithmic machines, which, by the way, are trained to absolutely love this kind of engagement-optimized content, engage, boost, and promote it. And step 3. We, the human beings, just sit in the corner as consenting, passive observers. Try to picture it. Two non-human machines interacting with each other all night long in the center of a room, while we just sit there in a chair and feed them our scroll data. We have literally become spectators in our own digital spaces.
Section 4. A crisis of agency.
So, living as a spectator in a totally synthetic world, it triggers a genuine psychological toll and a major crisis of agency. This is heavily driven by a concept known as the paranoia cycle, or the liar's dividend. First, vast amounts of synthetic garbage are dumped online. Second, the line between what is real and what is fake totally dissolves. Because everything could be fake, people start dismissing perfectly real things that they simply dislike as fabricated psyops. The source gives a great example of this with the indie band Geese. They have a very polarizing lead singer with an eccentric voice. But instead of just grappling with the fact that art can be weird or, not to their taste, internet users immediately jump to accusing the band of being an industry plant or a psychological operation. When the internet feels this fake, we actually start to lose our grip on reality itself.
We are just incredibly far from where we started. Remember the old internet? It used to be this amazing engine of genuine connection. It was all about stumbling exploration, getting lost on weird websites, and actual human-to-human sharing. The new internet, by contrast, is just a sprawling machine. It is designed to mainline volume-based synthetic content directly into your veins for maximum engagement. We have basically traded human exploration for automated stupefaction.
And all of this leads to this profound, almost philosophical exhaustion. The source material asks a really brilliant question. Is art still art if you don't experience it as an encounter with another person? When you encounter a piece of AI art or music that didn't come from a human mind, that wasn't rooted in any sort of lived human experience, it feels literally meaningless. It's just a hollow imitation of humanity performed by a machine.
Section 5. Reclaiming the Human Web.
Now, despite this massive crisis of agency, there actually is a glimmer of hope for how we can fight back against this overwhelming digital fatigue. The source shares this incredibly uplifting anecdote from journalist Charlie Warzel. So, he lives on an island, and he really loves watching container ships go by. Using just a basic API, he coded a tiny, homemade desktop app purely for his own personal joy. It's totally harmless, it doesn't push notifications, it doesn't steal your data, it just quietly tells him when a real physical ship is passing his window. I love this because it perfectly demonstrates how we can still use technology to create delightful, non-intrusive, inherently human things.
Basically, resisting the synthetic flood means actively prioritizing exactly what machines absolutely cannot do. It means seeking out weird, unexpected human interactions. It means building small, harmless tools just for the fun of it rather than for massive scale. As the author Kurt Vonnegut famously said, we are here on Earth to fart around. The messy, unpredictable, and entirely wonderful business of human connection is for sure our best defense against the endless feed of algorithmic slop.
Which ultimately leaves us here. The generative AI boom isn't just some technological shift, it's literally forcing us to ask the most fundamental question imaginable. In an internet, and really a world increasingly built to automate away our interactions, our art, and our exploration, what is a human for? I challenge you to consider your own purpose as you navigate the web today. Look for those human fingerprints and protect them fiercely. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning and keep exploring.